Have you ever walked away from a situation with your heart pounding, not knowing why, but somehow knowing you escaped something terrible? This is a true story about one innocent night out, a chilling encounter, and a narrow escape from two of America's most notorious serial killers. If you've ever trusted your gut instinct, this one will hit home. Grab a seat. This is one story you won't forget. Back in my early 20s, my date and I decided to spend an easygoing evening playing pool at the Sail Inn in West Sacramento. We'd visited the place a few times and always enjoyed chatting with the friendly bartender, a gorgeous, charismatic woman whose name now escapes me. That night, when we walked in, the pool table was already in use by a man and a woman. As my date went to grab our drinks, I stood nearby watching the game. A few minutes passed and the man noticed me. He smiled, struck up a casual conversation, and seemed friendly enough. When my date returned, the man asked if we wanted to join them for a game. It seemed harmless, so we agreed. I didn't think much of the fact that his female companion hadn't said a single word. She just silently watched, never making eye contact, never reacting. As we played, the man introduced himself and started asking some unusually personal questions. Where did we live? Were we dating long? Did we live together? His tone stayed casual, but the questions set off little alarms in my mind. What really made me uncomfortable was the constant exchange of glances between him and the silent woman. When the game ended, he invited us to check out a cool bar just down the street. I hesitated. Before my date could respond, I quickly said, "No thanks, we've got dinner plans." That was a lie, but my date saw something in my expression. Maybe the fear, maybe the instinct, and didn't argue. We grabbed our coats and left. As we walked out, an eerie chill swept over me. The hairs on the back of my neck literally stood up. Something was deeply, deeply wrong. Back at my truck, my date asked what was going on. I told him I couldn't shake the feeling that those two weren't just out for a casual night. Something about them screamed danger. I pointed out how the man didn't even check with his companion before inviting us elsewhere, as if she wasn't even a person. He shrugged it off, probably thinking I was overreacting. A few days later, while flipping through the local newspaper, my blood ran cold. There in the crime section was a story about a young woman from West Sacramento who had been kidnapped, raped, and murdered the same night we were at the Sail Inn. And the photo accompanying the article? It was her, the bartender, the beautiful woman we'd chatted with so many times. At first, I just felt horrified. Such a tragic, violent end for someone who had seemed so full of life. But about a month later, everything clicked into place, and that's when the true weight of the night hit me. Gerald and Charlene Gallego had been arrested for the murder of the bartender and several others. Couples, just like us. The pattern was unmistakable, and there on the front page of the Sacramento Bee were their faces, the man and woman who invited us to leave with them, serial killers. I froze. They had picked us, targeted us, but when I said no, they chose someone else. To this day, I live with the chilling realization that my gut instinct may have saved our lives. But with that knowledge comes a shadow of guilt I've never quite shaken. If we had gone with them, maybe the bartender would have lived. Intellectually, I know that's not how it works, but emotionally, it's a harder truth to hold. That experience ended my casual bar-hopping days for a long, long time. Years later, I discovered that Charlene Gallego had been paroled and was living in Sacramento under a different name, reportedly doing charity work as a form of redemption. Gerald died in prison before he could be executed. Charlene testified that she was manipulated and controlled by Gerald during their spree, and maybe that is why she was so eerily silent in the bar, trapped in her own private hell. Part of me wants to speak with her, ask her what really happened, why she didn't say anything. If in that moment she recognized we weren't just bar buddies, they were hunting us. If this story gave you chills, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more real-life tales that reveal the darkness and sometimes the hope that hides in plain sight. Trust your instincts. They might just save your life. And remember, some encounters are more than they seem. Stay safe out there.